The Mediterranean world that Jesus Christ was born into was filled with war, destruction, brutality, and violence. Not much different than North America, the USA, and the rest of the world. There was a lot going on in the Mediterranean world. There was inflation. There was inflation. There was a spike in interest rates. There was outrageous property taxes, heavy taxation. People were struggling to make it from day to day. And because of that, there was just a wave of crime that had broken out in that world, and it wasn't even safe for people. That's the kind of world that Jesus Christ was born in. I thought about this during this time of the year. We hear a lot of different songs that fit the season because everybody gets in the Christmas spirit. Everybody's in the Christmas spirit, and there's a lot of songs that we hear. Well, one of the songs that we hear a lot, even if you go to a Christmas play or Christmas production, theatrical performance, we always hear this song, Silent Night, Holy Night. But biblically, when Jesus was born, it was not a silent night. Because while he was being taken care of by his mother and his early father Joseph in the manger, little children, 2 years old and under, were slaughtered by Roman soldiers because of Herod's rage because he thought he had been tricked by the wise men. So it wasn't a silent night, it was a violent night. And that's the world that Jesus Christ was born in. Infanticide, abortion, murder of babies. He was born in that kind of world. But although he was born in that kind of world, God, his Father, was in control. And God sent an elite, intelligent, wealthy group of men from Persia to Bethlehem, named the wise men or the magi. God sent these men from the east. The Orient would be known today as Persia. Now, there's other commentaries about where they came from, but we know for sure that it was Persia. And God sent them. He sent them. We know he did because in Matthew chapter 2, verses 1 through 13, and within that passage, they asked the question, where is he that has been born King of the Jews? For we have seen his star in the east, and we've come to worship him. So we know that God sent these men to Bethlehem. But he sent them bringing gifts. They brought gifts. They brought gifts of gold, frankincense, or French incense, and myrrh. Now, those weren't no cheap gifts. Because y'all know around this time of the year, everybody's shopping on a budget. So those were not gifts you could go to a dollar store, a Dollar Tree, a Walmart, or wherever you shop, especially on the budget, to find those kind of gifts. Those gifts were very expensive. An example of how expensive they were, one of them, the French incense or frankincense, appears in another story. The woman with the alabaster box that broke the box and anointed Jesus, right? It was known as spikenard, the alabaster box of spikenard. But that was a very expensive fragrance. And there was a crook that knew how expensive it was. Judas Iscariot. He knew how much that spikenard was. Very expensive. Spikenard today would be almost like Chanel or Dior or some of those expensive fragrances, but especially Chanel. Chanel is very expensive. But that's how much the spikenard was. That's how expensive it was, because it comes from the spikenard plant. Same plant. So these were expensive gifts that they brought to Jesus. See y'all in the next video. But this is something that stood out to me. A lot of us post on social media, especially those who hear these videos or watch these videos, are on social media, and we post uh, images of scriptures on social media, encouragement on social media, right? Well, one of the posts that I made on Facebook and Instagram was from Isaiah chapter 60, verses 1 and 2, where the Lord God said, for the time will come when darkness will cover the earth and gross darkness the people or the peoples. But the Lord shall rise on thee, and his glory shall be seen upon thee. That's from Isaiah chapter 60. But I didn't notice that the fulfillment of these wise men in Matthew chapter 2 was in that chapter. Read it. I believe it's verse 3 and on. That there were men who were going to come on camels, bringing expensive gifts, bringing wealth. It was a dark time, gross darkness. But God sent people to be a blessing to his people. That's something to think about. And it was a dark time in the Mediterranean world. Very dark time. And God sent these men, the wise men from Persia, to Bethlehem during a dark, dangerous time to bring relief for his son, his mother, and Joseph. Now, you could go back to the other video from last Sunday. Wise people are blessed to bring relief. And you could look on the screen and see what relief means. And God sent these men during a dark time to bring relief, to bring blessings to his son and his people. God is about to do the same thing for his people. And I know this video is a little longer than normal, but don't feel discouraged because it seems like God is separating you. Feel like you're being separated, you're being pulled away from people that you familiar with being around. It seems like you're being pulled away, maybe on your job, in your community, in your household, where you work, or even church. God is pulling you away. There's a reason for that. He's pulling you away and he's separating his people because he's getting ready to bless them. God is getting ready to send wise people to bless his people. See y'all in the next video.